Welcome to Engineering Funda family. This video is a part of Microprocessor 8085 video lecture series, and in this video I'll be going to explain you subroutine in Microprocessor 8085. My dear students, when we talk about subroutine, then that is what a set of instructions that we repeatedly used in main program. It is a kind of function. If I say you are using one function very frequently in main program, then you should not write that functions program again and again in main program. Rather, you should go for subroutine of that function so that your length of program that will get short. So my dear students, how to execute subroutine and what are the steps of subroutine that is been performed by Microprocessor 8085, all those things that I'll be going to discuss in this video. So let us see first of all what are the basics which is there with subroutine of 8085. So when we talk about subroutine, then that is a group of instructions written separately from the main program to perform a function that occurs repeatedly in the main program. So as if any function is repeatedly used in main program, then we should be writing that in subroutine. How to do that? That even I'll be explaining you step by step. For example, delay of 1 second that is used repeatedly in main program, then we can have subroutine for 1 second delay. When we talk about subroutine in 8085, then that is being used by call and return instruction. By call we can transfer our control to the subroutine, and return instruction will jump back that subroutine to the main program. How it will be happening? Let us try to understand that by practical example. So here I'll be explaining you procedure of subroutine. So let us say we are having one main program that I'm writing it over here, and there are few instructions that is written in sequence. And once you write your main program, in that if one function is getting repeated again and again, then that should be written in subroutine. And subroutine is been written by using call instruction. So you see here at 2040 hex, I am doing execution of call instruction. Now see what is written. Call 2070 hex. What it means? This instruction that is of 3 bytes. 1 byte is for opcode of call and 2 bytes that is there for address of this 2070. So this call 2070 that is been stored at 2040, then lower byte at 2041, then at higher byte of address that will be there at 2042. So when you execute this call instruction, program counter that will be translated to next instruction to be executed, that will be 2043. But my dear students, when you call 2070, at that time program control that should get translated towards 2070 memory location. How it is happening? You just try to understand that step by step by animation, so it will be more clear. So my dear students, here program counter is indicating this address once you execute call instruction, that is 2070, right? But it should not execute add B, it should execute call. So for that, program control that will get translated towards 2070, but before that microprocessor will have to store the address of next instruction of main program. So that will get stored in stack by using push PC instruction inside 8085. This will get performed by 8085. We are not writing anything for this, right? Now what will happen? Once push PC is happening, this address 2043 that will get stored in stack memory. Let us try to understand that how it is getting stored in stack memory. Here we have 8085 and here we have stack pointer that is 1000 hex, and here we have stack memory. Right now stack pointer is indicating 1000 hex and microprocessor is performing push PC. So PC is having what data? 2043. So initially stack pointer is over here at 1000 hex, then stack pointer will decrement by 1 and it will store 20 first. So you see 20 is getting stored here. After that it will store 3 hex that is lower byte, that will get stored here. And now stack pointer, that will be indicating this address, that is 0FFE hex. So now stack pointer will get modified and it will be indicating this data right now. Now program control will get transferred to the address, that is 2070. So now program counter will be equals to 2070 to transfer this control at this call. Now here subroutine program will be there. So microprocessor will execute subroutine program. Once microprocessor executes subroutine program, at last there will be return instruction. When microprocessor executes this return instruction, what will happen? It should transfer this program to the main program at add B instruction, which is there at location 2043 hex. To transfer it, there should be pop PC operation. Here we have done push PC operation. Now microprocessor will have to pop this data into program counter. So to transfer this control to this 2043 memory location, return instruction will do pop PC. So what will happen? This 2043, now that will get stored inside program counter, and now stack pointer will indicate 1000 hex. Once you do pop execution, what will happen? It will load this data into PC and this memory will get incremented by 2, and now it will again indicating that initial address, that was 1000 hex. Now it will come to this main program at add B instruction, which is having address 2043, and now main program will get executed. So my dear students, what we do here in subroutine? In subroutine we execute call and return instruction. Call instruction, that is written in main program, and return instruction, that we write in subroutine program. When you call, at that time that program counter data, that will get pushed on the stack, and when you return that in subroutine, at that time that program counter will get restored to its main program by push PC, and this push PC and pop PC, that is been executed by microprocessor inside. So that is how things are happening in subroutine. Now my dear students, there are few issues that I would like to discuss during subroutine. My dear students, when you execute subroutine by using call and return instructions, at that time you should be very careful that you are having very few registers that is available for programming. Already microprocessor 8085, that is having 7 registers for programming. So in subroutine, whatever registers that we are using, those are very limited, right? So how to enhance capability? By passing the parameters, that even I will be explaining in my next video. But there are few issues that you need to understand, like availability of registers. Second issue is, when you use subroutine, at that time you cannot use stack. If you use stack, then data of program counter, that will get corrupted. Why? The reason is, when you execute call, at that time data of program counter, that is getting loaded on stack. Now if you perform push and pop while executing subroutine, at that time you may take that data from stack which was there regarding program counter. So there is an issue regarding that. So you should be very careful when you execute push and pop while you are using subroutine. Now there are few instructions that is also available with microprocessor, which are there regarding conditional call and conditional return, that enhance capabilities of programming of microprocessor. Let us try to understand that step by step. So my dear students, with microprocessor 8085, conditional subroutine, that is also the case which we can use. And for conditional subroutines, we are having conditional call and conditional return instructions available with 8085, like CC, CNC, CZ, CNZ, CM, CP, CPE and CPO. These are conditional call instructions. CC means call if carry. So if carry is there, then call will get executed. CNC means call if no carry. So if carry is not there, in that case call should get executed. CZ means call if 0. CNZ means call if not 0. CM means call if minus. So for that D7 bit that we need to see for flag register. CP means call if positive. CPE, that means call if parity is even, and if CPO is there means call if parity is odd. So that is how conditional call instructions are there. Similarly, we have conditional return instructions like return if carry, return if no carry, return if 0. That is how similar return conditional instructions are there. So by using these instructions, we can have subroutine, and subroutine is used to minimize size of program. If some functions are repeatedly used in execution of main program, then by using subroutine, we call that function by just call and return instructions, and we can perform subroutine so that we don't need to write that function again and again in main program. I hope you have understood this. In next video, I'll be going to explain you how to pass parameters in subroutine. That is very essential. You just see that. Definitely that will help you to understand how processor is working. Thank you so much for watching this video.